This in Sydney, firstly to Keith, a terrific day's racing. I'd love to have been at Randwick yesterday, and the Doncaster, Max wrote during the week that he felt it was second now to the Melbourne Cup since it's been increased to $1 million, and the quality of the field yesterday was arguably the greatest in the long history of the event.
Well, a lot of people appreciated that too, Bruce, because there were 38,000 plus at Randwick yesterday, and in fact across the border in Adelaide at Oakbank it looked like Woodstock. So there is a resurgence in racing. There was a big crowd too at Caulfield, and it just made you happy to be involved in the sport yesterday.
Max, welcome. I was interested in reading your comments in the Sydney Morning Herald during the week, and do you believe this race has gone past the Golden Slipper as the great race now in Sydney?
I believe it has gone past the Golden Slipper as a great race, as a better race. I think the fact that it caters for better, older, more seasoned horses over a fairer distance, 1,600 metres. Well, what was a fairer distance? Although, Bruce, I must concede that punters still favour the Golden Slipper. There was more money invested on the Golden Slipper yesterday week than on the Doncaster yesterday. So whatever the Slipper has, it's golden, it's magic, and it's still a very good race. But my own personal preference is the Doncaster.
Max, it takes a lot of money to make a horse favourite in the Doncaster. You've been promising to go off for months now. Scalacci, 9-2 into 5-2 at one stage yesterday. He started 11-4. Did you go off?
No, Scalacci is one of my horses. I had doubts about him running the mile. I placed him second. While he's one of my horses, he's not one of my horses to the extent Naturalism is.
I can't imagine, or couldn't remember two horses from the one stable being so heavily backed in the one race, because Naturalism was 4s to 3s. I'm not sure what he absolutely SP'd at, and the other horse was 9-2 to 5-2 back out to 11-4.
Yeah, Scalacci finished 11th. He proved he's not a miler in the tough sense of the handicap mile. I thought Naturalism was very disappointing. Like Max, I'm a great fan of Naturalism.
Well, I thought he was unlucky.
What?
Did you?
Extremely unlucky.
I can't believe, Keith, what have you had in the scones today? We call them scones. Some may say that they're hash cakes after a statement like that. Scalacci struck a lot of trouble. Scalacci was beaten 2 3/4 lengths.
You mean Naturalism?
Naturalism, 2 3/4 lengths. It was a mighty performance. Perhaps he's not quite the Naturalism we saw in the spring, but don't take anything away from his run yesterday. He was giving his all at the finish. Maybe he just wasn't good enough on the day, but it was one hell of a run.
I thought he was a bit unlucky, Keith. He missed the kick a bit, and then he got squeezed out at about the 1,000 metres.
Okay,
Mentioned in the steward's reports 3 times.
Okay, I don't entirely subscribe to that theory anyway. I thought maybe a re-handicap cost Soho Square a back-to-back Doncaster win, Max.
Yes, I won't argue on that score. Keith, Soho Square put up a mighty performance, as horses who handle that Randwick mile are prone to do. But over the latter stages, you'll note he's just wilts as that handicap, as that penalty gets to him. A kilo extra, I'd say a kilo less, Soho Square would have won.
Should mention the winner, Bruce.
Well,
she's the only filly in the field. Barry at 19. A great performance from skating.
Not a bad idea. What a ride by Cooksley, and what an outstanding filly she is. Let's have a look at the Doncaster.
Stand by. Gates open, they're off in the Doncaster. Naturalism is a little slow to move. He missed it almost a length, and Ghost Story also dwelt. Bouncing out in front, Gifted Poet, Primacy fast away with Soho Square, followed by Skating. Right behind those Blue Boss, Scalacci about 6th on settling down, followed by Kinjate. And then Durbridge and Welcome Night is out very deep, followed by Mannerism, Big Dreams. Back behind those Pharaoh, followed by Excited Angel, Prince Salieri. A gap in the field then as they race up to the first turn by Planet Ruler, Corndale, followed by Deposition, Ghost Story and Brawago last of all as they go around the first turn, and Gifted Poet the leader. Welcome Night second, Primacy third, Skating fourth, then Scalacci, Soho Square, Durbridge off the track, followed by Blue Boss, Excited Angel and Kinjate, and Pharaoh very wide at the 800 mark, followed by Mannerism. Further back is Corndale and then Prince Salieri, followed by Big Dreams. Naturalism is a mile back with Planet Ruler, Ghost Story, Deposition and Brawago absolute last as they come to the corner in the Doncaster. Gifted Poet the leader. In second place is Primacy. Running third as they swing the corner is Welcome Night, followed by Skating, Soho Square. Scalacci easing out about 5 deep to make his run, followed by Durbridge and then Pharaoh, and further back Prince Salieri as they top the rise. Gifted Poet tackled on all sides. Skating getting the rails run. Primacy joining in his Soho Square. Welcome Night and Scalacci can't go on, but the filly Skating burst to the lead. Soho Square coming after her. Jimmy Cassidy shooting for the double. Skating just in front. Soho Square, inch by inch, is wearing her down. They walk to the line. Skating has won the Doncaster. Skating held out Soho Square. Now third, we've got Gifted Poet, Prince Salieri.
Mannerism was fifth, just behind Prince Salieri, protested against Gifted Poet, third horse Dismiss. The quality, I think, of skating is not only the barrier, the fact she had the same weight as Primacy, who's a colt, and she was a filly. It was a fantastic ride, and Max spoke with Grant Cooksley after the event.
Yeah, well, I got a nice card across and ended up getting a nice run on the fence, so everything worked out real good.
She is obviously a well above average filly to be able to do that and beat a field of that calibre.
Yeah, she's very high-class filly, you know, sort of. She's just improving all the time and getting better.
Max, will she go for the Oaks?
I'm not sure about that, Bruce. A horse like Anna Lee, a great filly of the past, could do it. There hasn't been any intention but at this stage, but it can always change. Grant Cooksley mentioned the rail. Now, Bruce, one of the most important aspects of yesterday's meeting was the cutaway rail at Randwick. It moved, it was surveyed 2.5 metres on the turn and then came back to the normal position. I've been a supporter of the plan to try this cutaway rail. When you're out 6 metres, when the rail has got a skirt bad ground and the track is smaller. Yesterday, there were distinct drawbacks with it. Now, not so much in the Doncaster, but in the Derby. The rail was surveyed wrong. You will see Innocent King gets a terrible check. Jockeys were riding tight, as they're prone to do in Sydney, but the rail, the position of the rail, was the main excuse. You noted Cooksley said, on winning the Doncaster, the beautiful rails run that skating got. Well, that was a plus for it. But I think it changed the complexion of the racing at Randwick yesterday. I don't know whether that's entirely good.
Well, let's have a look, Max, and see the prat that Innocent King gets, the bad check, and the fact that he's able to get through and to win the Derby.
As they come to the crossing at the 800, they're quickening up a bit. Slight chance about 3/4. Irish Rort. Innocent King third, getting the run of the race from Air Seattle. Successful bid. Captive Edition is now being ridden along a bit, followed by Our Pompeii. Further back is Pallet, a gap then to Corregidor as they come to the 700 mark. At the head of the others then is Burst, followed by L.A. Yannick and well back Take Home Pay, the Bill and Telesto. Inside the 600 as they come around the turn, and they're attacking from all sides. Slight chance, just the leader from Irish Rort. Air Seattle 3 deep, successful bidders right off the track, and then Captive Edition looking for a run. Innocent King looks to be struggling as they come over the rise, followed by Paladin Burst on the extreme outside. On top of the hill now, Slight Chance is struggling. She's headed by Air Seattle. Irish Rort, his Captive Edition coming through in the centre, and Pallet right down the outside. Air Seattle wide out, joined again by Captive Edition. Slight Chances battling on Innocent King. Innocent King is now bursting along the fence. He's coming home far the better, Innocent King, after looking well beaten. Innocent King has come again to win the Derby over Captive Edition and Air Seattle, followed by Irish Rort.
Well, Jim Cassidy on Melbourne radio yesterday was critical of the cutaway rail. He said that it made bad jockeys look good and it enabled jockeys to get a run that they couldn't create. I wonder if he still maintains that criticism after being presented with the Derby because of the cutaway rail.
Well, he had plenty to talk about, as Max found out yesterday when he chased him after that win.
Big fella.
Got your money.
Good on you, Thanks, mate. They tried everything, we still beat him.
Yeah, I got Ronnie.
He's a super horse, mate.
Yeah, he finds some, doesn't he?
Realistically, he shouldn't. You look at the video, he shouldn't have been able to get going again because he went up the fence. Then as he come down, he copped the backwash of the other couple coming round me. And I sort of half clipped its heels and come back. And then I thought, oh, well, I've just got to go to sleep for a minute and let him get balanced and work out what happened, you know.
Especially the way the race was run, you know.
Well, they sort of got good 4 or 5 lengths on me when they went.
Yeah.
And he just kept coming and he had him beat 100 metres out.
Don't you love him? So on 3UZ yesterday, he gave it a bit of a pan and he got home.
That must have been run right on the hour, that interview, because I heard a time beep.
No, it was for another reason, Keith.
Oh, was it?
It wasn't 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He's a good horse, isn't he? And he's an exciting prospect. We've been waiting for a 3-year-old to really emerge from this group, and Redding was injured earlier on, and this one has emerged. What about the chairmans yesterday, Max? Sub-Zero, Azam, they looked a little disappointing on face value.
Yes, they were a little disappointing in face value. Just before we go past the Derby, I was a little bit disappointed with Shane Dye's tactics, taking Slight Chance to the lead. I know she won the Oaks by leading. The Oaks and a Derby are much different. I know it was a dawdling pace. I know a lot of things, but I would have preferred to see Slight Chance ridden back. The chairmans, I wouldn't give away either Azam or Sub-Zero on yesterday's run. Certainly Azam didn't seem comfortable around that rail section again. Sub-Zero, I think, is still just reaching top form. They will be competitive in the Sydney Cup.
Let's look at the Chairman's Handicap, the closing stages, this guide now to the Sydney Cup.
Where All Own Star is the leader. Tiakau Nick in hot pursuit. Garter King 3 deep, followed by Chasendo. Azam is under a bit of pressure now as they come to the turn. Is one off the fence and flat to the boards, followed by Sub-Zero, and then the Fledgling and Big Baron carted very deep on the turn. Heads a turn for home. All Own Star tackled by Tiakau Nick. Chasendo a length and a half behind them, and then Garter King, and most of the others are struggling as they come over the rise where Tiakau Nick and All Own Star. They're fighting it out, clear of Chasendo. Tiakau Nick put the head in front of All Own Star. Now Chasendo stoking up is coming after them. Tiakau Nick in front from Chasendo. Mercator late on the scene. Tiakau Nick is just in front and he fell in to win. Tiakau Nick wins it from either Chasendo or the fast finishing Mercator.
He didn't look comfortable, Azam, did he, with horses all around him, and he did find a bit right on the line.
He'll improve, and so too will Sub-Zero. That was a fantastic Sydney Cup trial, Bruce.
Well, Max, we're pretty proud of Golden Sword here in Victoria. We reckon he's a little special, and he showed some ability yesterday in the Carbine Club.
Yes, I think he's a horse of potential. On the figures, perhaps you wouldn't go give him rave reviews for yesterday's run, but he did look to have a lot of scope for improvement. Certainly, he's a very promising racehorse.
Well, John Maher mentioned that he thought he might get 2,000 metres in October. He must have been referring to the Cox Plate because he's too old to run in the Herald Vase. Let's have a look at his performance yesterday.
Golden Sword's about 6 off the lead as they come to the turn, followed by Defensive Play, Prince of Ipoh, and then Crinoline and Hours after as they swing the corner into the straight. Play or Pay, the leader. He's Classic, waiting for the cutaway, and then What a Blaze and West End, followed by Favourite Actress, and Golden Sword is now pulled to the extreme outside and is Pop the Question, and he's coming after them quickly. On top of the rise, Play or Pay, the leader. Golden Sword under the whip now is coming after him, and they've come away from the others. It's a race in 2. Play or Pay just in front. Golden Sword can't quite pick him up. Play or Pay just the leader. Golden Sword inch by inches pegging him back. The favourites coming home the better, and Golden Sword got up to beat Play or Pay. They streeted the others.
Bit to learn. He's going to be taken to Queensland for experience. Well, yesterday's meeting at Caulfield was somewhat saddened, wasn't it, with the news that Jeff Murphy had died. A great trainer and a great favourite with so many people.
That's true, Bruce. He'd been a premier trainer in the state. He'd won a Melbourne Cup and a Caulfield Cup in the same year with Gurner's Lane, Cox Plates with Surround and Abdol, and he was a very popular man. He was missed.
Yes, and to his family, our condolences. As we look at the Easter Cup yesterday at Caulfield, the feature event, and one of the features here, Keith, was Simon Marshall's ride. He was so cool on Coolong Road, hands and heels, bobbing finish and able to just beat Mamselle Perdue.
Well, Coolong Road carried 56 kilos. He's probably at his best on a rain-affected track. Caulfield track surface was perfect yesterday, but there's Coolong Road, the green with the pink sleeves and cap, winning the Easter Cup, giving Simon Marshall a double. He'd won earlier on another smart youngster, Never Undercharge, and Never Undercharge was the reason he stayed here in Melbourne and didn't ride in the Doncaster, and that was the bonus, the Easter Cup.
And Max, just in summary, tomorrow's meeting, some of those top horses that ran yesterday, they like Scalacci, are they likely to run in the Galaxy?
No, when I spoke to Lee Friedman, he favoured a spell for Scalacci, but he did leave the proviso open. He'd make a definite decision today, but I do think Scalacci's had enough for the time being. And Bruce, without stressing the subject, I don't think that Randwick on Doncaster Derby Day needs a cutaway rail.
Well, I think you've made your point, that's for sure. Thanks for your time, Max. Good punting tomorrow at Randwick, and also good luck to the Oakbank meeting tomorrow. It's a great favourite, and we've got the Victoria Handicap at Caulfield.
It's a dismal start to a race.
Expert